When the HOA demanded I remove my 20-foot fishing boat, branding it an eyesore unfit for their manicured community, I never imagined I'd end up seizing control of the entire harbor their elitist sailing club depended on. That sharp metallic clang reverberating through the morning mist is me locking the gate to their once exclusive Crescent Bay harbor, trapping their multi-million-dollar sailboats behind a gleaming chain-link fence as their indignant shouts echo across the water. Those same HOA despots who tried to crush me with fines over my perfectly legal boat are now learning a costly lesson in property rights they'll never forget. I'm Mike Harrington, 45, a retired Navy mechanic seeking solitude after a grueling divorce left me with little more than my grit and a stubborn streak. Inheriting my uncle's coastal estate in Crescent Bay, California, felt like a godsend, a slice of paradise with sweeping Pacific views, a private pier, and my cherished 1985 Grady White, salty breeze. She's no yacht, her hull weathered from years of battling ocean swells, but her engine purrs like a contented cat, having carried me through storms both literal and figurative. Crescent Bay seemed the perfect haven. 200 upscale seaside homes nestled along pristine beaches, where the biggest worry should have been whether the tides favored a morning fishing trip. The tangy ocean breeze mingling with my dawn coffee on the pier was the tranquility I'd earned after 2 decades repairing naval vessels under relentless pressure and punishing conditions. Then I met Victoria Langford, the HOA's iron-fisted president. Picture a 52-year-old real estate broker who'd ruled the board for 8 years, gliding through the neighborhood in a silver Mercedes that sparkled brighter than a Hollywood starlet's smile. Her obsession with property values was matched only by her talent for making people feel inferior. She appeared at my Pier 1 crisp morning, designer sunglasses perched, clutching a clipboard like a general inspecting a battlefield. Her scrutiny of salty breeze screamed trouble, and I braced for impact. 3 months into my coastal dream, a certified letter landed like a depth charge, a violation notice declaring my meticulously maintained, state-registered boat an unsightly marine vessel that violated their aesthetic standards. I had 30 days to remove it or face $200 daily fines. I figured it was a misunderstanding, so I attended the next HOA meeting to set things straight. The community center reeked of burnt coffee and quiet desperation, its metal folding chairs creaking under nervous neighbors, shifting uncomfortably under flickering fluorescent lights that cast an interrogation room glow. Victoria presided at the head table like a corporate titan, her blood-red nails tapping ominously as I explained my boat's legality, registered, clean, and docked on my private pier. She flashed a practiced smile, the kind realtors hone in mirrors. "Mr. Harrington, we maintain strict community standards," she said, her tone dripping with condescension. "Perhaps you'd be happier in a neighborhood better suited to your lifestyle." The word lifestyle carried a sting. She wasn't targeting my boat, but my entire existence, my weathered pickup truck, my calloused hands from years of manual labor, my refusal to fit her vision of Crescent Bay's affluent ideal. She wanted me gone for daring to be ordinary in her curated enclave. The room's silence was deafening. Neighbors avoiding eye contact, their fear palpable. Victoria hadn't just singled me out. She'd been bullying residents for years, wielding HOA rules like a dictator's scepter. My Navy training kicked in. Storms don't scare me, and neither would she. But I had no idea how deep her miscalculation ran or how spectacularly I'd turn her own game against her. Victoria didn't waste time escalating her campaign. When I ignored her absurd 30-day deadline, busy researching legal precedents, she jacked up the fines to $500 a day, turning my peaceful retreat into a financial war zone. Then came the petty harassment. Parking tickets slapped on every visitor to my home, from a neighbor borrowing a tool to a pizza delivery guy lingering 5 minutes too long. She turned my property into a surveillance state, likely timing infractions through those sleek sunglasses. Her audacity peaked with a county complaint accusing me of running an illegal commercial fishing operation from my residential pier, pure fiction designed to drown me in bureaucratic red tape, hoping I'd flee rather than fight. The familiar scent of diesel and salt water during my morning boat maintenance became my therapy amid this insanity. But Victoria underestimated the tenacity forged in 20 years of navigating Navy paperwork and high-stakes missions. While she played tyrant, I dove into research. Spending late nights in the county courthouse's dusty basement, surrounded by stacks of yellowed property records under humming fluorescent lights that buzzed like angry hornets. Photocopying deed after deed, I pieced together the full scope of my uncle's inheritance. The first gem emerged. My property included riparian rights, ironclad, legally protected access to the waterways dating back to the 1960s, untouchable by any HOA. My uncle's old advice rang true. Always get a title search on waterfront property. You might own more than you think. Once dismissed as paranoia, it now gleamed like a lifeline. Even better, an ancient easement agreement granted my land unique privileges at Crescent Bay Harbor, predating Victoria's reign and unyielding unless explicitly surrendered, something my uncle, bless his foresight, never did. As I built this legal arsenal, I forged unexpected allies. Mrs. Eleanor Caldwell, my 78-year-old neighbor with a gaze sharp enough to cut steel, had been quietly documenting Victoria's abuses for years. Over coffee, her voice crackled with suppressed rage. She's terrorized this place since she took over. Ran out the Lopez family with fake noise complaints, forced the Patels to sell over a non-compliant garden. You're not her first target, Mike, but you could be her last. The distant splash of seabirds diving for fish outside my window became the soundtrack to my late-night research, a reminder of why I'd come here. For peace, not power struggles. Victoria was about to learn that. Pushing the quiet ones too far can spark a rebellion. I documented her every move with military precision. Recorded calls, legal in California, time-stamped photos, witness statements filed with the meticulousness of a ship's log. By month's end, my evidence stack could have doubled as a doorstop, and I realized this fight transcended my boat. It was about dismantling a tyrant's empire. Victoria sensed her grip slipping and doubled down, calling emergency meetings to impose new harbor regulations, claiming Salty Breeze posed a safety hazard to the sailing club's fleet of gleaming yachts, many piloted by owners who couldn't dock without scraping every piling. She banned my boat trailer, calling it an unauthorized commercial vehicle despite its legal parking in my driveway. Whispers followed me, grocery clerks giving side eyes, gas station attendants probing my well-being. Victoria was poisoning the community against me, painting me as an unstable veteran, unfit for their polished society. I countered strategically, attending county commissioner meetings where I learned of simmering grievances, noise violations, illegal waste dumping, fuel spills from the sailing club's careless operations. From my pier, I became the neighborhood's unofficial watchdog, photographing oil slicks shimmering in the dawn light, logging engine noise in no-wake zones, and cataloging boats anchored illegally. The acrid tang of spilled diesel became my morning wake-up call as I built a case. Enter Dr. Emily Vargas, a scientist from the Coastal Conservation Network, who knocked on my door with charts resembling a crime scene investigation. We've tracked contamination downstream from that harbor for 2 years, she said, spreading reports across my kitchen table. Get us access to the source, and we can nail them. The implications hung heavy, like fog rolling off the bay. Digging through my uncle's 1990s correspondence, I uncovered a bombshell. Crescent Bay Harbor was originally public, its privatization a result of shady HOA maneuvers that bordered on fraud. My uncle had fought this theft, preserving public access agreements and environmental studies. His notes felt like a general's battle plans, handed down from beyond. A Coast Guard lawyer's old advice about leveraging professional licenses prompted me to file an ethics complaint against Victoria's real estate license, citing her harassment and potential discrimination. Nights in the county law library, steeped in the musty scent of legal tomes and fueled by endless coffee, sharpened my strategy. Victoria's confidence began to fray. She could sense the pressure but didn't grasp its depth. Environmentalists questioned the harbor, the state probed her conduct, and county officials fielded complaints about sailing club violations. By month 2, she was firefighting on multiple fronts while I loaded my biggest weapon. Her desperation bred errors. She hired a comically unsubtle private investigator, snapping photos from a beat-up sedan. I waved cheerfully each morning, unfazed. Then she crossed a line, having salty breeze towed, claiming it was abandoned despite its legal mooring, costing me $300 and a day of bureaucratic hell to retrieve. She pressured local businesses to blacklist me. The harbor fuel dock malfunctioned. When I arrived, the marine shop mysteriously lacked parts. It was economic warfare designed to break me. But in a bank vault, among the stale air and cold steel, I found the ultimate weapon. Surveys from the 1960s revealed I owned not just my waterfront lot, but 2 submerged parcels forming a chokehold on the harbor's entrance. For 15 years, the harbor management had paid rent to the HOA for land I owned. My uncle's words echoed. Water access rights are worth more than the land itself. His journals detailed their pressure campaigns, his final entry a prophecy. The most valuable rights are the ones they forget to steal. Allied with David Caldwell, a maritime lawyer and Mrs. Caldwell's nephew, and Sarah Kim, an environmental attorney, my kitchen transformed into a war room, briefs, surveys, and coffee cups piling up like battlements. Mrs. Caldwell delivered a trove of neighbors' records, selective enforcements, missing funds, years of abuses. Our plan was surgical. Void the harbor's lease, halt operations, demand 15 years of stolen rents, over $3 million. I installed a privacy fence on my land, legally positioned to seal the main channel. By Wednesday, it stood like a fortress, no trespassing signs glinting in the sunrise. Thursday's chaos was glorious. Yacht engines roared futilely, horns wailed, and owners melted down as their prized vessels became trapped ornaments. Victoria's phone erupted with panicked calls. Her shrill pleas carried across the water. The media pounced. Harbor siege, property rights versus privilege, trended as residents shared HOA horror stories. Dr. Vargas's pollution data triggered EPA criminal probes. Victoria's real estate license faced revocation. Her marriage collapsed, and she fled town. The climax unfolded at a packed town hall, cameras rolling, the air thick with sweat and anticipation. Victoria ranted, accusing me of forging claims. I rose, briefcase in hand. You've stolen $3 million from this community. Unveiling surveys, gasps shook the room. Dr. Vargas detailed toxic spills. I revealed the HOA's void insurance, exposing yacht owners to personal lawsuits. Victoria shattered, screaming conspiracies before storming out amid boos. My proposal, open harbor, cleanup funded by polluters, transparent HOA, drew thunderous applause. The aftermath was transformative. The harbor reopened to all. Kids fished, families kayaked, waters cleared. Scholarships funded Navy families. Festivals honored community spirit. Mrs. Caldwell, now HOA president, ensured transparency. Salty Breeze became a symbol of resilience. Property values soared with inclusivity, inspiring statewide HOA reforms. Each dawn, sipping coffee as waves lap freely, I savor a community reclaimed. Was fencing the harbor justice or vengeance? Comment your HOA nightmares. Did I go too far? What's fair in battles for community control? Like, subscribe. Join the fight against neighborhood tyrants.